Hey everybody, Alex here with another episode of Momentum Charting. Right now it's Sunday evening, 9/12/2021. I hope you are having a fantastic day, and we're going to be doing an update here on Moderna. It's been a while since our last update. Want to get into this quickly, so if you have not yet done so, just make sure and jump down below, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single update on Moderna over the coming days and weeks. I'm liking the looks of the chart again, so make sure you're subscribed down below so you do not miss any of the Moderna action coming up through the end of this year. Okay, guys. As those of you who've been following my channel for any given time, almost a month and a half, 2 months old now on the channel, I've been a proponent of the chart of Moderna since mid-end of July. It's when I really started getting involved in this chart and getting excited in the chart. And it was one of the first charts that I brought up to the momentum charting, the subscribers, that I was really excited about and really liked the look of. It's had a nice run up and then sort of had this peaking action here around early August, 9th of August or so, in that area. And we've just been kind of hovering here for a while now. But guys, I believe that this chart of Moderna now is really getting ready to blast off to the upside again. And I'm going to show you that, the evidence I have for that. And once again, guys, I believe we have a chart that just looks like a coiled spring ready to shoot to the upside, and I'm going to give you the details here in this video. So like I said, we've had this kind of pause in the action since early August, and we've just been kind of consolidating pretty nicely here in this range between about 364 and 466. It's, sometimes it's funny how you pull back and get a big picture of charts and moves that you think are just massive at the time. Like for instance, this move from the top here around $500 came all the way back down to 353, haircut of, let's see what the percentage loss was here. Yeah, it is pretty big, around 30%, but these types of stocks, biotech, always very active, and a lot of movement in the price and very news affected. So pullbacks like that in the short term are definitely to be expected. But you're really feeling this 30% of the time. But when you look at the broad scope of this chart, that 30%, guys, is just a blip on the radar. So I'm here on TradingView on a two-day chart, and what it looks to me like is finally we're starting to get some structure in place here on a 2-day time frame, which I believe is going to start leading us to higher prices in Moderna. I've got this trend line set here. You guys can see the structure in place that I'm talking about here, following these candles up here. You see this area right in here between around August 9th and around August 31st. The last 3 or so weeks of trading. You guys can see in this area here. See how choppy and messy this is with these wicks topping here, these wicks topping here at the bottom, in these areas here, and no real structure. Just looks like a choppy mess. And finally, it looks like we are starting to get a consistency, a structure in place on this 2-hour time frame with candles with a nice series of higher lows on the candle bodies, higher highs on the wicks, and it looks like sooner rather than later, most likely by the middle of this month, we're going to start challenging definitely a breakout of these levels at 466 and potentially a breakout of these all-time highs at around $500. And let's just look at the momentum here and see what's going on. This to me was one of the most exciting aspects of this chart. You guys can see here on this 2-day time frame, the price chart has not reflected this yet, which is why sometimes I like to go back and forth, look between momentum and price, and look at things like DRSI as well. But for this particular chart, it looks to me like there's a tell on this chart on a 2-day time frame and as well as a 1-day time frame, and I'm going to show you that, where we are starting to get this breakout on a 2-day time frame of these levels here around, again, on momentum about 252. And this is very, very strong action here, guys. Getting these breakouts, especially when they correspond with strength in other time frames. For instance, the 1-day, the 1-day, 4-hour, 2-hour, the 1-hour, and that is exactly what we're getting right now. 2-day, very important time frame. Also the daily, very important time frame. And I want to show you guys this. This is just crazy strength we're getting right now here. So that 2-day, I showed you that a second ago, that's starting to break out to all-time highs. But look at on this daily time frame, how we're getting this really nice series here of positive divergent bottoms, higher lows and higher highs. Just take a look at this on a daily time frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it looks like we're now headed for a fifth, right? Fifth, and this daily momentum starting to shoot to the upside here. So a fifth positive divergent bottom on a daily time frame. A 2-day momentum which is broken to the upside. And let's just look a little bit deeper here, and we can see basically almost the exact same thing happening here on a 4-hour time frame, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So 5, once again, just like the daily, we've got 5 positive divergent bottoms here, and we'll go to the 2-hour time frame. All of this looking really strong here, guys, as far as continued upside movement on Moderna. This to me is the trend line that I want to be following. You guys can go to create your 2-day chart. Just go to the 2-day and use the 2-hour candles and take basically the bottom August 31st and then the candle on September 2nd, September 7th, and then the most recent candle September 9th. Just connect the bottoms of those candles, and that's going to be our rough trend line moving to the upside. And I do not want to even consider getting out of Moderna shares until I see a breach to the outside on a 2-day time frame to the outside of this, right? And preferably structure breaking any sort of horizontal support as well. But it looks to me, guys, like we could be setting up for another period here very similar to what happened in July, where we started having this big break to the upside, right? Let's just get an idea of what percentage that was. About 100% or so, right? So am I saying that's definitely going to happen? No, absolutely not. But I'm seeing with the structure in place on this momentum on a 3-day, 2-day, daily time frame, there is definitely right now the possibility for that to happen. And just the slope of this trend line, and I'm going to close up this video here by showing you guys also the DRSI on a longer time frame and show you kind of, guys, what that's looking like as well. But just take a look at this. So if we're able to get, for instance, say a move of approximately 100% from these levels here around September 2nd, that would take us to Moderna closing in on $800 in a relatively short time frame, right? Probably, it looks to me like potentially by the end of the year. So this is kind of what I'm looking at on Moderna right now. It looks to be really exciting time period once again happening in the stock. Again, this trend line is where I'm setting for a potential exit, and make sure you guys make sure you're subscribed to the channel, because I'm going to be following all this stuff along. I'm going to be following the trend line. I'm going to be following the momentum. So make sure you're subscribed down below so you don't miss any of the action. But again, yeah, it's likely, definitely, just like always, these stocks like to fake out. So getting some choppy action, especially these are bigger candles, 2-day candles. So even within these candles, you can get a lot of choppiness. But I'm just planning on staying the course and riding this trend line up to the upside on Moderna. just looks really, 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 really strong here to me right now, guys. And lastly, I just wanted to look at this DRSI, or dynamic RSI. Just take a look at this, guys. I'm on a 3-day time frame right now. One of the strongest and longest time frames you can utilize effectively on this RSI. And just look at this nice upward diagonal slope on this RSI. Peaks connecting the points on April 6th and May 18th. And it looks like right now we bottomed at this level here, which is extremely, extremely, extremely strong. I cannot overemphasize that enough. So I am taking this trend line here right now, just putting kind of a horizontal trend line here as a line in the sand, basically, that I'm going to just come back to and leave this here on our chart. I don't want to exit shares of Moderna right now till I see some sort of breakdown of this level at around 75, because even chopping in these levels, even if we do not continue up in this diagonal fashion along this RSI, which very likely we won't, because we're already kind of got this nice reset from this very strong level at 90. It seems to me pretty likely what happens, we're going to come up here over the next, the rest of September and maybe try to challenge this level at 90 on the DRSI. But guys, even if we chop around in these levels here over the next couple months, over and above this level of 75, this is going to lead to an immense push to the upside in shares of Moderna. Okay, so that's everything I'm watching on Moderna. This DRSI on a 3-day time frame, staying above 75, and importantly, to some extent, this trend line here that I've got set on a 2-day time frame on our momentum chart, and continuing to watch this push higher on a 2-day time frame here on momentum, as well as the 1-day. Okay, so that's everything I'm looking at on Moderna right now, guys. To me, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The continued strength looks to be the order of the day of Moderna. Subscribe to the channel, and I will do the next update sometime later this week, in the next couple of days. Guys, thank you so much for joining me on this video. I will see you all again very, very shortly in the next Moderna update. Thank you, and bye for now.